Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. This is my little corner of the internet where I share my life and books. These are not all the books I own. I have way more back home, and I'm gonna have more the next time that I film a video for this channel. So stay tuned for that because this shelf will fill up a little bit. Today we will be doing a book tag, the end of the year book tag, that I've seen two versions of floating around. One that I've seen Jessie do and one that I've seen Sarah do. So I'm gonna leave both of their videos down below as well as the original creators, but we will get right into it since these might be long. So the first question, are there any books you started this year that you still need to finish? I've actually started You've Reached Sam, and I'm how many pages in? 113 pages in, so I still want to finish this one. I have one non-fic that I want to finish as well because I've started it, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, but the tripod is currently standing on it, so I'm not gonna pick that book up. I think that's actually all. So I think it's those two, and that's pretty much it, but I do have some manga that I've started and haven't caught up on, so those maybe as well, if that counts, but those are like more chapters than actual volumes. So that. Second question, is there any release that you are waiting for? I don't think so, because I am one of those people that doesn't really follow new releases. The only new release that I knew was happening was Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare, because I have read The Mortal Instruments and The Infernal Devices this year, or rather finished The Mortal Instruments because I've read the first book like years and years ago. But besides that one, which is already out, I wasn't waiting for anything. Oh yeah, I have been waiting for the first book in the Before the Coffee Gets Cold series, but that's also out already, so those two are out. I'm not waiting for anything else now. So 3 books that you want to read before the end of the year. Oh my goodness. I've posted an entire video on books that I want to read before the year ends, and I'm not sure that I'm gonna read all of those books. I'm 99% sure that I'm not gonna read all of those books, but this one was on the list, You've Reached Sam. So I want to read this one, and I will probably read Jujutsu Kaisen manga when I'm back at home, because I had that on my to finish before the year ends list, so I want to get back into that and finish those. But besides that, I don't think there's anything else that I will be able to finish, to be honest. Is there a book you still think could shock you and become your favorite book of the year? I don't think so. I think the books that I've read this year were good, and I actually read my favorite book of the year at the beginning of the year as well. So, one. The other one I read in September, I believe. Those are the 2 books that I've really liked this year, but I don't think that the books that I've chosen for myself are going to be as high on the list as those 2 that I've liked this year. Hope that answers the question. You already started making reading plans for 2024. I don't really make like reading plans. I guess that my plan every single time is to have fun with it and read whatever I feel like reading, and not let myself feel guilty for not reading when I don't have the time to do so. So I guess those are the plans, and I don't have any other plans. Okay, so now moving on to another tag. This is the one that I've seen on Sarah's channel. I believe Destiny has made this one, so we're gonna move on to that one. First question, most disappointing book of the year. Oh, I feel like that's literally the only one that I can think of, but it was an Agatha Christie book, and it was The Body in the Library. It was so boring. And the pacing was just so awful for me, and I couldn't remember the characters. Like, the reveal was fine, but the book overall was kind of meh. So that's the disappointing book of the year. Oh yeah, there's another one. But I don't want to say that it was disappointing. It was disappointing in the sense that I have expected more from the plot than we got, but I loved the overall vibes and I love the book in itself. So this is kind of like contradictory, but it's like, I don't know, but it's The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I love the book for the vibes and for like the atmospheric, beautiful creation that it was. But for the plot, nah. Like, it was, the pacing was really off for me. Maybe because like I guess that I don't like super slow paced books, and I feel like that was slow paced, or it was slow paced at times. And I just, yeah, I don't know. I still love the book so much and I think about it a lot. And it's also partially because of the playlist that I found on Spotify that I was listening to when reading the book at a certain point. And I have found some really nice atmospheric songs that really went with the book, that I still love the songs and they remind me of the book. The book in itself was just, it was really good. It's just that there were things about it that like sort of disappointed me because I expected to love it so much more than I did in the end, you know. What was an underdog book? The underdog book. I'm not sure. Wait, I'm gonna say one that I've read recently. I'm not sure if this can be counted as an underdog for like overall. It was an underdog for me. That's The Wind's 12 Quarters by Ursula K. Le Guin. And the reason why I think, oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. Thank you for blessing me. So I think that the reason that I want to say that it was an underdog for me is because it took me ages to read the book itself, but in the end there were so many stories in the book that I really enjoyed. And I love how the author knows how to write like complex human emotions and how it's all like really complex. It sort of makes you think about your own life as well, and it's just something that, those are stories that really make you think, and I love things that make you think. It's just that some of the sci-fi really went over my head, but still I really loved some of the stories inside that book, so I'm gonna say that that was an underdog. What was an overhyped book you've read? Okay, so for this one, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with a book that I don't think like people would think of mentioning in this one. I'm gonna go with Atomic Habits for this one. And the reason for that is that I think it's something that, and as much as it was a good book overall, it was also kind of like, I've read it because I've read it, and I do think it's a little bit maybe overhyped. But I mean, it's overhyped for a reason. I guess that like the writing and the structure of the book is something that really connected to people, and like other things that mention the same sort of topics and same sort of ideas maybe didn't. So that's that. I don't think that it's like overhyped for no reason, really. I did read an overhyped book and that was it. A book that surprised you, Monkey by Stephen King, because I did not expect to love that book as much as I did, and I still think about it sometimes. It's still so good in my opinion that I recommend it to people, and I really enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the writing, I enjoyed the setting of it. I really loved how it was about painting and how the entire plot around the painting. There was a section called How to Paint the Picture that was like such a good addition to it, and it explained so many things in those like little short chapters, and it was just the best. Like I really loved that book. I'm gonna also just so you know, I'm gonna go with like 1 to 2 books in each category. So, you know, we're not gonna be here forever. Your favorite book couple of the year? Oh, I know. I'm gonna have to go with Magnus and Alec from the Mortal Instruments series. I wanted to say Simon and Izzy, but to be honest, it was kind of meh in the end, you know? Like, I wanted to see more from them, and Izzy in the books was sort of, she was a little bit different than I expected her to be, I guess, and it's fine. Like, I really loved her character in the end, but it's Magnus and Alec for me. One more couple, I guess, that I could say, but I don't really want to say because I don't want to spoil things if someone hasn't read the series, I guess. And I think that you would have already known about Magnus and Alec. So, your favorite main character of the year? My favorite main character of the year. Oh, can I say one from the manga? I'm gonna say one from Hell's Paradise manga, and that is Gabimaru. I really love him as a main character. Like, he's such a good one. And I also want to say, because I think that he is also a main character, and that would be Fushiguro from Jujutsu Kaisen. Because I do count him as a main character, even though like the story in theory is not about him, but it really, actually it sort of really is. So that's all I'm gonna say. New favorite author that you have discovered this year? I mean, it's not a new author to me because I have read her work before, like this one book, City of Bones. I would say Cassandra Clare, but only because I've become really obsessed with her world building and storytelling this year. So she's not actually new, but that's something that's kind of new. What is the happiest book you've read this year? I need to check. Oh my goodness. Also, for the overhyped book that I've read, 101 essays that will change the way you think. Because it was a very good book, but it was everything that you could have found online, and you probably have seen online if you follow things of that sort. It was really nothing new, and I feel like with non-fiction books, that's the idea, that you sort of like write the same things but in your own style and way, and some people will eat it up and some people won't. So that's the sort of thing. For the happiest book, I kind of want to go with a manga called A Galaxy Next Door by Guido Amagakure. I kind of want to go with this because it's just a really light and fluffy read, as well as The Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses, because that's also a very light, fluffy, just school-based sort of story, and they're both just like really uplifting and so cute, and I don't know, I really like them. The most frustrating book you've read this year? Oh my goodness, yeah, I know. I'm gonna go with the first book in the Avatar series, so A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J Maas. And the reason why it was so frustrating is because the main characters were so frustrating in that one. Like, the second book is another topic, but the first book, oh my goodness. Like, I remember just being so I guess frustrated with the way that Farah was acting and the way Tamlin was just acting at a certain point. Because at first I was like, oh yeah, Tamlin, yay. Then you're just like, oh Tamlin, no. Why are you even here? Like, he was just so frustrating. Like, there were so many things that were so super frustrating. And there were so many things that I thought were wrong, and I still think are wrong, even though I love the second book and I know why the things in the first one happened. But those things were just really for me, you know? And I still just, I can't like overlook that in the grand scheme of things still. So, my answer. The best book adaptation of the year. I have no clue because I don't think I have seen any book adaptations this year. I truly don't think that I've seen any. I've seen anime, if that counts. And a lot of the anime that I've seen is the reason that I've read the manga, actually. But I'm just gonna go with Spy Family for anime, because I am still reading the manga. The manga is still good, even though there are like volumes that are very much just filler chapters, which is kind of sad, but the anime is really, really good. That's the adaptation of the manga, so I'm gonna say that. And also Hell's Paradise, because it was very good. The girl like forgot her glasses, because it was great. I'm not gonna say one that we all are probably thinking if you watch anime, because I don't want to support what's happening. I'm already watching the anime, which is a fight for me, because I don't want to support like overworking other people to the point that they are miserable, overworking them at all, because they deserve rest, because they are animators and they are doing an incredible job. And I really want animators to release things that they are proud of themselves, and not just because this is their work and they need to release it because they are being chased by time or by the CEO or whatever, you know. So I'm not gonna say that one, even though the first part of it was really good. I'm saying the first part because in the second part I'm iffy about certain points, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. What is the longest book that you've read this year? Let me check that on my story graph, actually. Seriously? Oh my goodness, okay. Apparently it's City of Heavenly Fire with 704 pages, and that's in Polish translation. I thought that the Dumaki was the longest book, but the Dumaki was only 640 pages, so this is my longest book. And there's probably, yeah, what is the shortest book that you've read this year? This is going to probably be The Ones Who Walk Away from Omelas, which is a short story. A short story that's actually in the Windswept Quarters book. But I don't see it. Wait, have I not read it this year? Oh, I might have mistaken the years. The shortest book that I've read this year is The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway, because it's one of my favorite books, and that was a reread. And it's 100 pages. But if we're counting like manga and just chapters in general, then it was the case study of Anita's chapters. And the shortest one was 60.5, and it was 10 pages. So that's super long, isn't it? If we are counting volumes, then apparently The Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses volume 10 is only 94 pages as well. So take your pick. Those are like the shortest things. Your favorite covers of the year. I have one, and I don't own the book yet because I wanted to order from Amazon, but I read somewhere that someone got the wrong book cover after ordering like the one that was displayed on Amazon, and that really put me off. And that's the cover of the Night Circus book, and it's the OG cover. If I'll be able to, I will just insert it somewhere here or here. That book covers so much. It's the red thread, it's the couple on the cover, it's just how elegant and enchanting it looks, and it's just depicting the insides of the book very well, even though, like I said, the plot was very slow paced and that was something not for me. But I truly love the cover of that. Is there anything else that I love? I actually really like this book cover, very cute. I like the sakura petals falling, because when you start reading this book you realize why this sakura thing is even on the cover, and it's like very cute. I mean, I haven't read this book, but I do love this cover of The Witcher, Blood of Elves. I really want to get all the books in these covers because I really like them. And there's also the Infernal Devices series, the covers with, I believe those are the original covers, not the new ones. I'm gonna also insert one here if I manage. And those are also my favorites. I just can't find the first one in paperback with that cover, which is a shame, but I do have the other two, and I really adore those covers for some reason. So, a book you haven't stopped thinking about. I guess The Night Circus. like I said, because I do think about it quite a bit still. There's also Dumaki. There's also... Are there any other? I'm not sure. I guess Hell's Paradise because it's still fresh in my mind. Also, I guess Jujutsu Kaisen manga. Anything else? I don't know. I don't think so. Well, Infernal Devices, I would say like Clockwork Princess sometimes pops into my head because of certain events. I'm gonna leave it at that because I don't know if there's any more. Cringiest read of the year. I don't think I've read, and oh no, I have read. I've tried to read a manga called The Girl I Met on the Train Turned Out to Be My Classmate or something. Whatever, I don't know. I'm gonna put the title here. But it was so cringy. It was so freaking weird. Like I've tried and I've read a few because like a few volumes because I was curious, but it was just nah. It was very strange to say the least. There's also one that I kind of wanna put here, and that's My Dear Curse Casting Vampires, because as much as like the plot is kind of cute and it's very pretty, it's also very cringy with how fast they fall in love. That's what I'm gonna say. Do with that what you will. A popular book you loved. I don't think there was one. Was there anything? Oh, I guess I could say that one, but I don't know if it's necessarily unpopular, but it's a book written by J.R.R. Tolkien, and I think it was like released by his son, Christopher, and it's the first book in the history of Middle-earth, and that is the Book of Lost Tales, Part 1. I don't want to say that it's unpopular, but I believe that the lore is just for, because it's more of a lore book, it's more for those hardcore fans of Tolkien and Middle-earth, but I also don't want to say that it's just, you know, unpopular in general, because I don't think it's like unpopular. I just think that not as many people will read this because it's something for those people who want to know more about the world. They want to learn how Tolkien actually had written these books, you know, how he was thinking and what became of his ideas, how he came to The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and stuff, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna say this one. Lowest rated on Goodreads and highest rated. Do you agree? Well, for this one, I don't have Goodreads, so I can't check that, and I don't think you can do that on Storygraph, but if you can, someone correct me in the comments, and I'm gonna just put the answer to this one in the description box, because I don't have Goodreads, so I can't really check that because it doesn't, I mean, it doesn't track what I've read, so I would have to probably do it on my hand, and that's just not gonna happen. Fave book quotes of the year. Oh my god, I hate these sort of things, but I think I have one here, and it's one that I've loved a lot. This is my favorite quote from the month of May. The fact that everything is falling into place is just proof that this is the right path for you. From now on, the rest is up to you. I don't think someone giving it their all should be punished. That's from Paradise Kiss, from month of June. You think as you walk away from Le Cirque de Rêve, I don't know how to say that, and into the creeping down, that you felt more awake within the confines of the circus. You are no longer quite certain which side of the fence is the dream. That's from the Night Circus, obviously. Yeah, here it is. This is the one that I was originally thinking of. It's from month of August, and it's from City of Fallen Angels. He thinks of the fall, of angels tumbling down forever in fire, and Icarus, who had flown too close to the sun. He had thought of the agony of the fall, the terror of it, but never that it might be joyful. Lucifer had not wanted to fall, but neither had he wanted to serve. And as Jace gathered Clary close against him, closer than he had ever thought they could be, he wondered if it was only in the act of falling that one could be truly free. Isn't that so pretty? I love it so much. Month of September, men may be stronger, but it's this woman who endure, from Clockwork Princess. There's actually another quote from Clockwork Princess here. That's in Polish, so I'm not gonna read it to you. And the next quotes from the books I have read, I haven't written down in here. So that's the fave. Book with the most unique concept you have read this year. You know what? I think I'm gonna go with a manga, and this manga could also go into that other category where I talked about lighthearted and fluffy manga, and that's Kubo Won't Let Me Be Invisible by Nene Yukimori. And I just want to say this one because it's a unique concept in a way that, like, he was actually invisible to people. Like, they would not see him. It's a difference when someone is ignoring you and pretending you're invisible, but he was like invisible to them. Like, they did not see him, and Kubo was the only one that did. And the way the story unfolded was like very, very cute as well. And I think that it may not be like the most unique, but it's certainly something a little bit different, that he was like actually invisible to people. It was just a very nice read, so I would say that one. Another one for this one would be The Witch and the Beast, because the concept of it is that, well, I can't really tell you because that will be a huge spoiler, and you learn that like a little bit along the way, but it's basically a guy who's a witch working with the beast who's in a body of a girl, and that's all I'm gonna say. It's very fun, very adventurous, very much like giving old vibes, and I really, really like that. So I would recommend that. It's a very nice manga. Book you read this year that you would reread? Dumaki by Stephen King, for sure. And I would definitely reread the Infernal Devices series. I would definitely reread... Have I read this year? No, that's not this year. I almost said something from last year, I believe. I would definitely reread Hell's Paradise because it was very good. And those I'm gonna say for now. Those are like top 3 that I would reread, probably. Yeah, top 3, but the series is a trilogy as well, so not really 3, top 5. Goodreads reading goal reflection and 2024 reading goal. So I'm gonna go with Storygraph. Reading goal reflection. So I initially did not have a goal on Storygraph of books to read. I was just winging it, but then I was like, well, might as well. So I set a reading goal of 100 books, if this is what this question is about, I hope so. 100 books, and I have exceeded it, and I have read 136, which is great, but I also remember that most of these are manga, which manga is really short, and those are like series, so the volumes just go very fast, and that's why it's so easy to actually... I realize that that's manga, and that's a lot of this goal, but it's also books that you read, so I'm still counting it, and I'm not gonna feel like bad for doing so. 2024 reading goal. A reading goal would be to just read whatever I want to, whatever I feel like, whatever really catches my attention, and not really compare the things that I read to what's popular right now, because I feel like a lot of people like feel the pressure of reading and posting about things that are popular, just so like, you know, you're a part of this community that is reading those things. But it's also okay to read things that are not popular, and I feel like a lot of people actually want to learn about books that are not as popular because they want to read something else with a little bit of a different concept, or like a little bit of a different format or something. I want to continue on sharing things that I like without feeling like I have to go and chase those popular ones for, like, I don't know, views or likes or whatever, because I don't care about that. I mean, like, you check it, obviously, we all do, but that's just how we are. We look at the insights, and that's what we do. But I just think that have this free mind when it comes to reading, as you would have before you had Bookstagram, before you had BookTube and all these other things. Also, I would recommend for you, if you're looking for goals for 2024, if you've been wanting to make a Bookstagram, make a BookTube or BookTok or whatever, to just go for it and make that your goal. for the year. To just read whatever you like and share it on that platform that you are going to make. Because if you wanted to do it, you just have to like go for it, and you're gonna have so much fun, I swear. Because it's a lot of fun to just sit down and talk about books, or make posts for Instagram about books, or just share what you love with people and just meet other people who are also interested in the same things. Because I've made so many friends on Bookstagram thanks to just being on there and like posting whatever books I wanted to post, and it was the best. So tell me your reading goals for 2024 in the comments if you want to, please. Last question, apparently. What will you prioritize in your 2024 reading year? I will prioritize reading at my own pace without feeling like I need to rush and finish a book in 2 days or a day even. I will prioritize like a normal amount of books read in a month, because if there's other things that you are doing in your life, then you probably don't have as much time to read like 40 books in a month, and you're gonna end up reading like 4 or 5. But it's, third thing, quality over quantity. I will definitely prioritize finishing all the books on my TBR, my physical TBR, and I will also try to do some fun challenges for booktube, because I do have some ideas and I just need to actually like get to them, sit down and read. That's that. Those are the 2 tags. I will leave all the questions in the description down below, so if you want to do this tag, like, you can have the list. I will leave the original creators as well as the people that I took inspiration from their videos, so they are also linked in the description. And yeah, that is basically all that this video is going to be. It's pretty long, I think, so sorry for that. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. You can subscribe to my channel to not miss any other book videos or live videos. I do vlogs on here as well, so you can check those out on my channel. A more festive thing is coming soon, I swear. I do have some, and I do need to get them out before Christmas would be ideal, but I'm not sure if that's gonna happen. You can check them out on my channel. You can click the bell icon so you will be notified whenever I post a new video, and I will see you in my next one. Hope you're well. Love you!